Well, good morning, afternoon, everyone. I am sitting here with a wonderful individual, Carla Fogarin. Carla has held many positions in the NCIHC, but for the past few years, she has held the very involved and important position of VP, Vice President of the Board of Directors of the National Council for Interpreting in Healthcare. And I'm meeting today here with Carla to talk a little bit about what her role has been and the position. Carla, how are you?
Well, thank you so much, Graciela, for doing this. You know how I love to be on camera. So, but it's been a real pleasure serving as vice president and president before that of the council. So hopefully I'll motivate some people to jump in and to offer their added value in the same capacity.
Thank you, Carla. And I must say, from my observations, is that Carla has this fantastic energy and puts all of her efforts and all of her being and wisdom into what she does. I wanted to ask you, Carla, if you can tell us a little bit about this role, about what is the role of the vice president on the board?
So, in my opinion, I think the vice president in the capacity of the National Council is much more involved than, well, what we typically see like in politics, et cetera, because it's really a collaborative effort. I've been lucky enough to work with incredible presidents of the council. Ileana is the president for another year. So whoever would come in, Ileana Lobo would be the president till 2026, I believe it is. So, it's been a lot of fun. And, there's no cookie cutter model. And I'll say this with tongue in cheek. You have to, you have the responsibility for standing in for the president when he or she is not available. So you would run board meetings, run executive meetings, you participate in other committees. But it also depends on the actual candidate for vice president, because depending on your skill set and your interests is also something that leads you down the path as to where you will participate and how you will contribute, right? I mean, it changes a little bit depending on the person. So I've been lucky enough that the council's had faith in me to be able to participate in some outside committees to create documents and processes to help medical residents, for instance, know how to work with interpreters. And I say work with interpreters versus use interpreters, because I truly believe that we're part of the clinical team. So, we've had a lot of really collaborative efforts, especially in the last couple of years with outside organizations. We're looking at working closer with medical schools, with nursing school programs. I mean, the people that touch our patients the most are the nurses. And yet I often find that there isn't enough work done for the education purposes. So depending on what your passion is as the VP coming in, will also kind of formulate a path of interest that you will bring to the council or that you'll be able to explore even further. And that, of course, is in conjunction with the path and the vision and the mission and the goals that the council has, right? As well as the ability to support the president in any capacity that is needed.
Is there any one or two things that if you had the ability to tell potential candidates or that want to run for this position, is there one key feature that you would say you should have this in you?
I think obviously, and I shouldn't say obviously, but the knowledge and the passion for language access and linguistic rights of patients, right, to communicate autonomously. I think that it's something that you may not be as well versed as some people. I mean, we have incredible people on the board that have started interpreter services way back, have continued to contribute to things, but don't let that put you off, because, if you have the work ethic, if you have the desire to learn, if you have the knowledge, you can always get more robust and learn more. I do believe that you have to have been a former board member, at least, to be able to run for this. So that gives you a better understanding of what the National Council is all about. So you're not just coming in as a person that might just have joined as a member. And even then, even for the board, you have to be a member for a certain amount of time before you can run for a board member position. But I think that just staying abreast of what's happening. Perhaps one of the biggest advice that I've given myself repeatedly is, you get to represent the council. And in essence, you actually sometimes speak on behalf of the council. And there are times that, me as an individual may be more drawn to say one thing, but it's probably not necessarily in the best interest of the whole picture. So you have to weigh and balance everything and say, okay, I'm very passionate about this, but we're here to serve nationally all of our people, all of our members, and how can we best work towards that goal? Obviously the goals have to be aligned, because if you as an individual do not believe in it, you're not going to be able to make that work, right? So I've been very, very fortunate that the National Council's goals, objectives, the energy, the passion, the things that we've done, the incredible committee members that we have, the chairs of these committee members, all volunteer, right? Have aligned with what I'm so passionately devoted to, language access for all. But you have to keep up with your skills. In other words, you have to keep up with what's happening federally, what the new sanctions are, Section 1557. You have to be able to continue to grow and not just rely on your past experience.
And wanting to.
Yes, and wanting to grow. And I mean, honestly, why else would you participate if it's not to better yourself or grow? And in some cases, it is helpful to your career, right? But in other cases, some people like myself, for instance, we're at the tail end of our career. So it's really done for, in my opinion, to make sure that we pass this on and that we can make sure that other people understand the need for language access and just the standards and the ethics that we've had so many people working for. And of course, now with our whole AI, get a little versed in AI as well. It's not all bad, but it needs to be managed very carefully, right? So that we're aware of what we're putting out there. And, is it good for this, but not good for that? Is the cultural nuances not understood? All of that. But it's been such a remarkable learning opportunity for me that even though I've been in language access for 30-something years, like a fossil, I'm still learning every single day because of the opportunities that the council has given me.
Beautiful. Thank you, Carla. Thank you so much for giving us your time and talking to potential new candidates for the VP position. And most of all, thank you so much for the great service that you do every day for the National Council.
You're way too kind, but it's been an absolute pleasure. And I'll see you at the board meeting.
See you
All
then.
Right.